The Big Mike rant. The Big Mike rant. The Big Mike rant. Hey, you're responsible. Okay, all right. So here we go. Another in the sequence of let's see if we can train 1 million people on how to solve their own problems. Here's rule number one. You are responsible for you. I don't know if you knew that. Let me repeat that. You are responsible for you, period. If you're standing around waiting on other people to solve your problems, and you're not 10 years old, and you can't drive, then there's something wrong. Because you are responsible for your life. You're responsible for what you do. You're responsible for what you don't do. And you're responsible for how you behave. So, it's sort of like accountability is one thing. It's accountability is being able to stand up and say, it's my responsibility. But being responsible for yourself is not having to, and you don't have to be told to take the trash out when you know it's trash day. So if there's any, I know there's no kids out here listening to this unless their mothers are making them. But if you're a 15-year-old kid and you're supposed to take the trash out on Thursday and it's Friday and you didn't take the trash out, my question is why? Did you know that Thursday was trash day? Why do you have to be told every week then? See, that's the thing. You don't have to be told what to do. If you know you have to cut the grass, if you know you have to take out the trash, if you know you have to work 5 days in a row. I mean, let's face it. There are terrible jobs out there. I know. I get it. There's some lousy jobs. And there's some really lousy bosses. I get that too. But, and however, and all those other words that sound like that, I'm going to say something to you that maybe you don't want to hear, and that's this. You took the deal. How can you stand around and complain about where you work when you said, okay, I'll come into work for you on Monday at 9 o'clock for orientation or whatever it was? I mean, here's some solid advice. If you don't like where you work, quit. They're better off without you anyway. I'm serious. If you're not a productive, happy employee and you don't like what you're doing, go find a different job. Oh, Big Mike, but I make X amount of money and I got all these benefits and okay. I mean, I get that. If that's true, then be responsible for yourself and stop bitching. I mean, my God. Don't gripe because you only get 30 minutes for lunch. Be glad you get 30 minutes for lunch. There's no point in being negative all the time if it gets you nowhere. If your job isn't to critique things, then shut up. That's easy enough. If you're not supposed to tell people why things are the way they are, then don't do it. Look, we've all worked at those places where, you know, there's a favorite employee and somebody who got away with everything. It was the boss's, nephew or something, et cetera, et cetera. I get that. But see, that's not every job, every day, every place, every time. That's just every once in a while you hear about it. Most jobs, you know what they're about. And most people, they don't give 100% at work. You know why? Because they don't want to look bad. Why don't you want to look bad? Well, we got 12 people that work here and 11 of them only give 50%. If I give 100%, I look like a brown noser. I'd submit. You don't look like a brown noser. They look like a lazy curse word. I'll say it that way. You're responsible for you. If you picked up a rock or you picked up a baseball and you threw it and it went through a car window or it went through a house window or you hit a golf ball and it went through somebody's window on the road because you've got a slice you got a hell of a slice. Who's responsible? I mean, don't say the golf clubs, the balls, the ground, the weather, the bat maker, the ball maker, the fact that they'd make the fence high enough, blah, 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 blah. Look, you picked up the ball, you picked up the bat, you swung the club, you threw it, swung it, hit it, whatever. It was your action that made it happen. You're responsible for you. Get that through your head. Now, you took the deal. Wherever you work at, if you don't like where you're working, if you're not happy, if you're not making enough money, make a plan. Watch my last video, Plan Your Work and Work Your Plan. Go find a better job. Go to school. Get a degree. But standing around and moping about it and telling everybody how bad it is, man, that gets you nowhere. This Big Mike, and this has been Boomer Talks.